no matter where you are, no matter when you are. Good morning, friends. So, I'm going to jump right into it. Did you know it's super hot right now? Did you know you could go boil an egg outside on a sidewalk? Did you know you could go do any other stereotypical it's hot outside activity? Well, maybe not for us here in Michigan, because we've been experiencing warmer but not hotter temperatures, that's for sure. But if we look, we can see that certain places in the U.S. are experiencing sweltering hotness. Holy heat, friends. So, areas like Phoenix, if I want to pull up this little thing, is on their record-breaking 19th consecutive, so in a row, day of 110 degree plus weather. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I prefer winter. I'm a cold person. I like wearing sweaters and bundling up with a blanket. You know what I don't like doing? Sweating, drinking excessive amounts of liquids just to keep myself hydrated. I love water though, do not get me wrong. But there's a lot that goes into it when it's hot. You can't just go casually enjoy an outdoor activity like you can in fall. So imagine what happens when it's so hot, you literally can't do anything. You can't move, because if you start running outside, you're going to have a heat stroke. If you go to the beach, you're going to have a heat stroke and get third-degree sunburns on every square inch of your body, ones you didn't even know you had. So it's very important. Let's break it down. Here's us. All right, let's go to our 10-day. We got 81, 61 tonight. Then we got 83, 80, 60, 81, 82, 82, 83, 86, 90, 89, 86. Okay, what about Phoenix? Well, extreme heat weather warning. 95, 95, 96, 97, 100, 103, 106, 109, 112, 114, 115, 150, 114, 113, 111, 108, 105. Do we see an issue? Do we see how 110 degrees, and that was literally published yesterday, so today's the first day that it's not 110 plus degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. They're not the only places. We're talking about all of the eastern South right now. A lot of the South, too, in general. And they say it's coming up here to the Midwest soon. Get ready, friends. It's about to be hot. Break out your slip and slides and break out them really, really crummy. You got to cut the top of them open with the stupid scissor popsicle thing. I can't stand those. All right, what's up next? Okay, this is a very important one. So, I want to explain this in a way where we're not getting too broken down and bogged down in the details of a story that I've covered in previous videos. We've talked about this court case in previous videos. What I want to bring up to us this time is the idea of something called the Classified Information Procedures Act. There's two things we need to talk about. First of all, Mr. Ex-President Donald Trump is facing 31 counts of violating the Espionage Act, keeping private documents that were classified in his personal home, saying he did not do this. Well, now he is asking that if any private documents are used in this public court case, that they are not shared with the public. In other words, rather than making the documents that were private public, so that way we know what the actual outcome of the case was and everything that actually happened, he wants them to remain private. Now, yes and no. I think every human can understand wanting to keep your personal information private, especially on a national news. But there's another part of me that says, well, if you wanted to be the president of a country who, tries to lead itself on justice, equality, all these key phrases that Americans love to use when talking about our perfect country, well, my guy, maybe give up those documents. Maybe prove you didn't do anything wrong if you say you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe, just maybe, give up those documents, and we'll know what really happened and get the full story, and we won't have what some people might call fake news. So it's quite interesting how this works. One last point I wanted to point out on this is, goodness gracious, I hope I didn't lose. Okay, graymail. We've all heard of blackmail. What's graymail? So this is the idea that there's documents that Trump thinks are so private that they should not be public, which that's a self-report right there, in my personal opinion. Now, it's interesting because with graymail, this is where the defendant, in this case Trump, is offering to reveal classified information during the trial in hopes of forcing the government to drop a criminal charge. In other words, he is threatening to reveal classified information about the government and secrets about the U.S. government and other people, so that way they don't have to talk about his information that he's on trial for. He's willing to say really bad things that'll ruin tons of people's lives and potentially send our government into a shockwave just so he doesn't have to have his personal information broadcasted, proving he was possibly breaking the law during his time as president. So that's very interesting, something all over the map. Now, Governor Whitmer here in Michigan, we got some implementations changing to our votes. So, yes, that was corny, but I'm excited. So, this is super quick. You ready? Early election. You used to be able to vote before voting day in case it didn't work up with you, because fun fact, America's voting days are on Tuesdays. It's a day dedicated to make sure that lower income and minority groups are not able to take days off of work that they need to afford to be able to live, but whereas the lower, higher, and upper middle class, especially whites, will see, oh, I could take that day off, no problem. I need to go vote to make sure my local neighborhood stays the way that I want it to stay. So, Election day being on a Tuesday is historically contentious, it's historically annoying, and it's personally agitating. So what is Ms. Whitmer doing? Well, Ms. Whitmer is doing early election. So before the election, you were allowed to vote a few days early at certain times at certain places. Now, she's expanding this to a full 29-day period of voting. You can vote up to 2 weeks plus early in Michigan federal and state elections. Now, that's really cool. That's going to be super helpful. It makes sure that people can go vote up to 9 days before, and that they are open for 9 consecutive days for at least 8 hours of each day, beginning on the second Saturday before the election and ending on the Sunday before the election. In other words, that Monday will not be able to be allowed to be voted on, but the next day on Election Tuesday will be back to regular voting. That's super awesome. I love this. There's not much to say other than this helps more people get access to voting. Double thumbs up. Props to you, Whitmer. I love this. I think this will be super, super awesome. Now, our last two stories are fun. The first of which is Pickle-ball. How it's shattering nerves, sleepless nights, and how Pickle-ball is blowing up in America. If you Google Pickle-ball and go to news, look at all these results in less than a second. Hold on. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Now look, if I can fully zoom out. Pickleball gear for beginners. Opinion, pickleball fuel, male illness, radio towers. I don't know what that one has to do with it. And pickleball courts. Pickleball, it has been on the map. Beer City open in Grand Rapids. Pickleball scene. So this one's Michigan. Play pickleball in the city. Blah, blah, blah. Let's jump to page 4. Wow, it's more pickleball. Wow. So I hope we see this as a growing sport. It's growing all over the world right now. People are obsessed with playing it. The only issue is gentlemen like Mr. Ahmad here, 51, another resident of New York, who is complaining about the noise, where he says it's all fine and dandy until you have to listen to it for 12 hours straight. His house is near some new pickleball courts, and he has to deal with this noise of people playing. It's mostly people my age playing pickleball all day. Now, I'm not going to lie. If you're people my age, like this gentleman right here, playing, yeah, he's exactly my age, wow, playing pickleball, there's probably speakers. There's probably people yelling at their friends for fun. There's probably a lot of loud noise. There's probably a lot of jokes, a lot of laughs. So I could see how this could get really annoying if you were not somebody who's playing part of it, but you were living near it, hearing all of this happen. Look how long this article is. People are going crazy over pickleball. So much to the point where New York Times even posted an article called "Is the Cure to Male Loneliness Out on the Pickleball Court?" This is how many people in my age range are picking up pickleball as a new hobby and creating new friend groups out of it. And that's kind of cool. We just need to find better places to place our courts so people are not dealing with that noise 24/7. Here we see pickleball lawsuit against St. Petersburg in the police report. See, it's crazy. The latest saga of the steaming from pickleball. Stemming. I said steaming. That's funny. Last story, friends. Here we go. In the United Kingdom, out in a place called Portsmouth, we see I believe Sainsbury's was a grocery store, is now turned into a thriving indoor skate park. And I love this. You know, I love skating. You know, I love building your community and reusing things, not taking down old buildings, but instead finding new ways to repurpose them. This is super awesome. Here's a little silent tour of, I didn't mean to make that full screen because that won't work, of the skate park, where we see one of the main people who she works there. They have an indoor skate shop before you walk into the back, where you actually eventually will find, wow, look at that, indoor skate park inside of what used to be a grocery store. Is that not super awesome? I don't think there's anything cooler somebody could have done with an abandoned grocery store. Like, we see this popping up more and more where people are turning abandoned buildings into places for children to hang out and have a positive place to hang out in their community. So I think that's super awesome. Wanted to give that some shout outs. I love it. So that wraps it up for us here today, friends. Thank you as always. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, especially comment. Make sure you like, get that, out there further so I can get more people seeing these, all that good jazz. But for now, it's time to sign off. So until next time, friends, I am going to go fly a helicopter onto the top of the world's biggest Toys R Us and do a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible 2 heist. Bye.